Hi everyone, welcome back. Many gardeners treat composting like a nice side hobby. But for me, composting has become my central year-round gardening project. Now, I did make a video a while back of my composting setup, but I've made some pretty major changes and additions to that setup. So here's how I make compost now. I love my concrete 3-bin system. There's a ton of things about it that are just perfect. But my processes and my situation has changed. Now that I have a larger chicken coop and rabbit village lower on the property, well, it's just not as conveniently located or as flexible as I'd like it to be. I replaced that old system with 6 246-gallon Geobins. I love the flexibility of these Geobins because it's very easy to consolidate one bin into the next, thereby aerating it, and it can all happen in a relatively short period of time because they're able to get really close together. Also, when they're not being used, it's easy to roll them up and get them out of the way. Now here is my process for setting up a new bin. Garden waste, mainly browns, is run through my custom shredder made from a free electric lawnmower. It is layered with coffee grounds from a bunch of local coffee shops, vegetable scraps from local restaurants, and compost from my countertop composter, as well as bedding and manure from my chickens and rabbits. I sprinkle in probiotic inoculated water and mycorrhizal spore powder in between these layers. I cover them with a couple layers of burlap to hold in heat and moisture.
Woods, all clear. Entrance, all clear. Yeah, the chicken coop looks delicious. All clear. Coop, all clear.
Yeah, we've got a problem. But that's why I like the Anona Aurora cameras. I can check different cameras all over my property with a live view right from my phone. And with the 24/7 AOV, I can pick out the exact moment when things went wrong. The Smart Base gives me one place to store footage and manage the whole system. And if somebody gets a little too interested in the chicken coop, there's a spotlight. And a siren too. So while I can't be everywhere all at once, Aurora is the next best thing.
I stand by the delicious part.
The results from this process happen pretty quickly. A bin, once it's been set up, reaches 150 degrees within the first 48 hours. Once it has cooked down about half its height from the original starting point, I then consolidate it into older bins. During this process, I also sprinkle in a little azomite for trace minerals. Once compost has reached maturity, I run it through my new sifter. You might recognize the vibration motor that I use to vibrate my concrete paver forms also being used here. The larger uncomposted debris falls off the end of the sifter and gets returned to the composting system to get further decomposed. The finished compost is collected in a separate bucket and added to the greenhouse and outside garden beds. Something else that I've added to my routine is the making of compost tea. Now, compost tea keeps the soil food web vibrant. And you don't have to worry about it damaging your plants because it is essentially beneficial for every part of a plant, from the leaf to the root. Here's how I make it. I fill a compost tea bag with 2 parts active compost and 1 part worm castings and 1 teaspoon of gardening molasses. The bag is hung in an almost full 5-gallon bucket and it's aerated for 24 hours. The fresh tea is then applied to plants, leaves, branches, and soil as a foliar spray using a backpack sprayer. Modern produce is far less nutritious than it was 60 or 70 years ago. There are a number of factors, but a major one is that modern agriculture traded the soil food web system for a tilling system that required the addition of fertilizer in order to get anything out of the crop. I don't want that for my property. I want better produce, and in order to do that, I need better, living, vibrant soil. One of the big influences in my way of thinking on this topic is a fantastic book by the title of Teeming with Microbes. I really recommend that you check that out. So I've left a link to that book in the description of this video, as well as a link to some of my other videos on the topic if you want to dig deeper. A big thank you to all 5 gardening nerds that made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you very much. And if you did make it this far, please do the YouTube stuff, the liking, subscribing, especially the commenting. And if you would like to support the channel in other ways, check out wineberryhill.com. And as always, if you like this video, you might like these.